Hey everyone, welcome to another Anime Kingdom review. See by the title below, yes, this is on episode 11 of High School DxD Hero, and finally we get this episode. I was so excited to see how this episode would be, considering the fact that the cliffhanger just looks so badass. You know that Kiba, Zenobia, and Rose Weiss are going to lose, obviously, because Psydog's just a beast. And once again, this is another thing I actually was super excited for, because Psydog, we only got to see like a little teaser when he fought Issei. So him actually going full power, I kind of was really excited to see how this would go. The whole point for Kiba them to go in is to weaken him. It's crazy to think a 3 versus 1 with all three of them going up against one person would be something they're just trying to weaken him for Issei. But still, even though it was just for weakening, the battle was pretty dang crazy and intense. Obviously, it starts off with Psydog doing like a damn power-up kind of Dragon Ball Z kind of thing, and it just looks like, yeah, he's gonna wipe them out. And it does look at first like practically he's one-hit KOs them. Rose Weiss looks like she got taken out early, which was pretty cool that they had like a plan for this, even though the plan, honestly, in my opinion, kind of laid flat, because I didn't understand why they did it like this, because the whole Excalibur thing to make her invisible, make like a fake version of her to, you know, pretty much catch him off guard, and for her to use the element of surprise and then blast the heck out of him was smart. What wasn't smart is why when she came out, blast the heck out of him, she stopped. I would have kept on just blasting him till literally you can see he's gone. Like, why would you stop? You lost the element of surprise. It makes no sense, and all you did was make him mad. It looked like you maybe hurt him a little, but not really, honestly. And instead he gets up, and literally the first person he takes out for real this time is Rose Weiss in a one-hit KO. And I was just like, I get the whole thing that, you know, they can't defeat him, but it just makes no sense on why she would actually stop. If anything, it would have been cool for her to keep blasting him, and he somehow just blasts her away while she's blasting him, because then it'd be like, oh, okay, so she was trying to continue to blast him, but he just stopped it. Instead, it's like, oh, okay, I hurt him, that's enough, right? No, that's not enough. And even like Zenobia's blast didn't work either. Kiba used his, you know, balance breaker, his second one, and I was like, okay, this is gonna hurt him a little, maybe. Nope, not even hurt him a little. I think Kiba may be the only person that could take more than one hit, or maybe Zenobia, I think, might have taken 2, but still, like, it was just, I don't know, it was just crazy to see how much more powerful Psydog really is, because we already know he's super strong, but to actually see it in action against 3 of them was, honestly, it was definitely enjoyable and crazy to see. And then of course the super epic, which doesn't make sense, may I add, another part of the episode, but it was super epic and super hyped, because I mean, when you're doing like a power up or trying to, like, you know, strengthen your attack, and you just hear the characters, you know, screaming and everything, as obviously they're both holding what's it called, Zenobia's sword, and trying to slash through Psydog's arm. It was pretty damn hype. It was pretty badass. I really thought, I was like at the edge of my seat, like, holy shit, you can do it, you can do it. And then I thought after, why is he just standing there? Like, Psydog is full on just like flexing in the spot, like letting them do it. He's not doing anything. He's just like, oh, you're trying to cut my arm off. I don't know if it was kind of overconfidence, maybe. I definitely think that might have been a possibility, even though he said he wasn't going to. He was gonna take it serious and go full power and everything. But you have to admit, like, the only other possibility was he honestly was overconfident and thought there was no way they were going to be able to cut his arm off, because he could have just like swung this way or hit him with his other arm or kicked him or something. All he does is stand there, and then ching, arm gets cut off. That part I was like, oh shit, they were able to cut his arm off, and he ends up using the Phoenix Tear to heal himself. And then I'm like, okay, so they managed to at least do one thing, which of course was to make him use a Phoenix Tear. And that was pretty much the main objective, was to make it so that he can't heal himself in the battle against Issei. And they did kind of weaken him. I don't know how this works, honestly. Maybe it's because the Phoenix Tear, even though it healed him, his arm was still not as like fully recuperated, because when he, you know, Issei is fighting him and everything later on in the episode, he notices that his punch isn't as strong with that arm. So I'm guessing it's because of that whole thing, but why that is, because the Phoenix Tear, I'm pretty sure, should just like completely heal it and make it good, but I don't know, I guess they had to make it some way that, you know, this character, Psydog, is weakened, because, I mean, For goodness sakes, he was just way too OP. It just seems like throughout the episode, honestly. And then, of course, they even make him even more OP later on, but I'll get to that after, you know. After the battle, of course, the next battle is with Abaddon, I think her name is, with the black holes. And I was thinking, okay, this is going to be pretty badass, because how is Issei going to be able to, you know, defeat her, considering she was able to take out Akeno pretty easily with those black holes. Like, the black holes honestly look pretty OP. Like, Issei could go for a punch or something, and the black hole, I don't know, sucks his arm, or makes it, goes in there and then comes out and hits him in the face. I don't really know how they fully work, but I'm guessing it's like dimensional kind of thing like that. So I was actually excited to see how this battle would end up going and everything. And then, of course, ends up being Psydog takes her out because, I mean, it's still cool because it shows Issei is like, it's one of those classic kind of like power-ups where you're, you know, with, you know, pretty much with any shonen anime is that, oh, you hurt my friends, you hurt my family, I'm gonna, and he just goes crazy. And it looks like, I guess, that he would have just completely killed her, according to Psydog. So he just pretty much makes her forfeit, I guess, teleports her out. But it would have been cool to see that battle, but obviously, everything's building up to what's going to happen in the next episode, so they didn't have as much time for that because we already know how strong Issei kind of is at the moment, but we didn't really know how strong Psydog is, so they want to have that 3v1 battle still yet, you know. It just kind of felt like a missed opportunity for, I don't know, development for that person's character and her abilities to go up against him. I'm not too sure if that was taken out of the novel, like the battle is actually supposed to be longer, or that's how it is, but I kind of wish there was a little more to it. Nonetheless, still super excited, wondering how everything's going to go. One of the big things that I always wondered throughout this episode and the last episode was, you know, Asya. Is she going to be any use? Yes, her healing is really strong, but in these kind of fights, she's definitely not going to do a 1v1 kind of thing. So I was waiting and waiting to see how they're going to implement her. They decide to do a team battle. Super excited for this, considering the fact is not just Psydog is going in, but we're going to have the pawn, the whole mystery of who this pawn is, what his abilities, you know, are and everything. Considering the fact is most families from what we've seen, they have all the, you know, more than one pawn, except Issei, who has all the 8 pawns in him. So if that's like equivalent to this guy, he's got to be super powerful, obviously, right? So I was super excited to see how that would end up, you know, pretty much unveiling, to which I'm not disappointed at all because, come on, the damn Nemean lion that Hercules had fought, that's what it is. That is crazy. And of course, it's one of those strong Longinus. I forget how to, you know, say it exactly, but it's kind of like Issei and Volley's, you know, sacred gears and everything. But these are like the strongest of the strongest sacred gears. And not only is this a sacred gear, but it has a mind of its own. That's just pretty crazy. It's able to think on its own. And then, of course, also give Psydog even more of a power boost than he already had. So yeah, it was pretty crazy to see that unveiling because I was not expecting that at all. I was wondering how it was going to be. I was thinking obviously this guy may be powerful, but I was not expecting him to be a damn sacred gear. So that definitely surprised me in a good way, and I was super excited to see that. But the whole thing with Asya is that when they decided the team battle, I thought it was going to be 3v2. It ends up being that she's just going to be an alternate, which doesn't make sense because that means that she's not going to be used. We already see that once Ria's, you know, hurt in this one, to which I wish they showed that battle because I want to see how strong this guy is without being combined with Psydog, because obviously he was strong to be able to take Rias out and make her bloody like that and everything, you know. But I was expecting, I mean, I'm guessing that if she ends up getting taken out, then Asya is just teleported in. I don't know. The way I was expecting this would be is Asya heals him up. He's able to get a power up because of Ria's Opie and everything, and that's how the fight would be. It ends up not being like that, to which I'm super excited and super happy for, because the way it ended up turning out was super. It was pretty damn hyped up. I'm not gonna lie. But obviously we have the whole thing with Psydog putting on, of course, the armor, the Nemean lion armor. He's super powerful, so powerful that even in Issei's Rook form, when he tries to punch him, he literally practically breaks his hand and then just one hits him. And I was like, okay, I knew he was going to be powerful, but we went from being a pretty crazy close battle with Issei having the advantage to Issei not even having a chance and Psydog being like just extremely OP. It seems like he's just way overpowered, honestly, in my opinion. But of course, this is the moment. This is the moment where you have the main character in any shonen anime where they become super powerful. You have the kid once again with the dragon hat, the Opie dragon hat, and he's like cheering him on, like Opie dragon. Everyone, the Opie dragon chants, and that of course stops him from turning evil and going crazy out of control. Like I thought we were gonna see. When I saw that he was gonna go Juggernaut Drive, I was like, oh shit, that's not a good thing because of what we had seen before, and all the predecessors all like chanting and like revenge, 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 because obviously they, we already know about them and stuff like that. But what I did not expect either was the fact that one of the, the previous possessors of Vali's divine dividing, he ends up being in Issei's sacred gear, and I did not expect that. But it made for a pretty cool scene because you have all of them cheering, not cheering, sorry, all the early predecessors chanting the original chant and everything, but Issei changing it up, and it was super hyped up and exciting to see how that ends up going, and him changing the words up because it's like meaning his own thing and he's going to be different. And of course, all of them seem to be released from this curse because they're like, oh wow, we can help and all this kind of things. Is like completely no longer driven by revenge and all that kind of stuff. I'm not too sure if that guy, the previous possessor of divine, dividing, is just gone or he's going to show up again later on. But it was pretty cool and pretty exciting to see that power up happen. And of course, the epic conclusion of that cliffhanger with him showing up with badass wings and everything in that armor. I was just like, holy shit. Things are going to go down next week with, Issei and his new powered up, not, in control Juggernaut Drive, I guess. I'm not too sure if it's still considered Juggernaut Drive, but in this new form, going up against Psydog in the Nemean Lion armor form, which of course we've already seen super overpowered, super OP. So next week's episode is probably going to be super intense and super explosive. I don't know if Rios is just going to be standing in the back. I mean, I'm predicting, actually, I'm going to predict this, guys, that the battle is going to go, it's going to be super close, but it looks like Psydog still has the edge a little bit. He ends up touching, Rios' Opie, and he gets even more of a power-up and ends up winning. I'm thinking that's going to happen. I could be completely wrong, but the sad thing is, obviously, but that's the only thing I can see Ria's having like a factor in the battle, honestly, is because of her Opie. It's kind of sad as it's seen as, you want more development for her character as well to see how strong she is, because she is strong. But in a battle with pretty much these gods with fists and just fury and everything of Psydog and Issei, she's not gonna be, maybe she throws in some magic here and there, but it's not really gonna do much. So I don't know. Nonetheless, super excited to see how next week's episode will be. I definitely did enjoy this one. A lot of action. It's definitely much more of a serious action-packed episode. We didn't have any fan service, which is kind of sad, honestly, but I'm okay with it because of how crazy and awesome it was. And there wasn't really much comedy either. I don't know if there was any comedy at all, actually, now that I think about it. But nonetheless, really did enjoy this episode, and I'm pretty sure next week's episode with probably half the episode or maybe 3/4 of the episode will be awesome action-packed parts. After that, we'll probably get the fan service and comedy that we all know and love in High School DxD. But nonetheless, super excited to see how that will be. And yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. Hope you enjoyed this Anime Kingdom review. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If there's anything I missed and you want to talk about, comment below as well. And if you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. As always, guys, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Anime watchers only. How do you feel about this episode? Good, bad? Do you agree with me? Disagree? Feel free to comment below your guys' thoughts. And as always, source material readers, how is this episode in terms of the novel? Did they take things out? Is it pretty much, as you guys have been saying, faithful? Because I'm really enjoying that it has been faithful and everything, with some changes here and there, because that just shows for a good adaptation, and it makes it a good that both the anime watchers only and the source material readers are loving the adaptation. So I always love to hear when you guys say that it's doing pretty good. So I want to know, was this episode adapted well as well? The whole part with against Abaddon, was that part, is that how it's supposed to be, or was things taken out? It's and why it is good or bad or not. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Obviously, if there is like huge spoilers of what's gonna come, do not put that in unless you want to. For other people, then do the whole skip 4 lines thing. So if someone clicks read more, that's their choice. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say, guys. So till next week, see ya.